Gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. I'm James, and today we're diving into a topic that sparks a lot of curiosity. What do women really want in a relationship? You see, sometimes what a woman says she wants isn't quite what truly grabs her attention or creates a real connection. If you've ever found yourself confused about how to win her over, stick around. I'm about to share 5 hidden behaviors that women secretly wish for, but rarely admit. It's like the Stoic approach, looking beyond the obvious and understanding what really matters. Let's explore what truly catches a woman's eye before we dive in. Take a moment to subscribe if you're ready to transform how you handle relationships using the power of Stoicism. Every video is a step toward mastering your mindset and building stronger, more meaningful connections. All right, let's dive in with the first one. And trust me, it might surprise you. She wants you to ignore her and stay busy. Yeah, I know it sounds a bit strange, right? I mean, no woman's ever going to tell you, please just ignore me. That would sound kind of crazy, wouldn't it? But here's the thing, what really attracts her is seeing you as someone of high value. And let's be real, we often think of high value as someone who's got a full life, someone who's busy with purpose, someone who isn't just sitting around waiting for their phone to buzz. Now, I'm not saying you should just ghost her for the fun of it, but every once in a while, when you're a little less available, she might start thinking, wow, he must be busy. He must be important. Maybe he's just got a lot going on right now. And guess what? That right there sparks interest. It piques her curiosity. It shows her that you're a man who's got his own life goals, projects, ambitions. And when you're not always at her beck and call, she'll start wondering, why isn't he paying attention to me? What's he up to? What's so important that's keeping him busy? Here's where the beauty of Stoicism comes in. The Stoic teachings remind us to focus on what we can control, but they also emphasize maintaining our inner calm and independence. As a man who embraces Stoicism, you understand that your worth doesn't depend on constantly seeking validation or approval from others. You're grounded, you're in control of your time, and you prioritize what matters to you. So by focusing on your own life, your work, your passions, your goals, you naturally create that aura of self-sufficiency that she finds so attractive. It's the Stoic virtue of self-control and action, not being swayed by external desires, but maintaining your composure and focusing on your own growth. Now, I know this might sound like a contradiction, right? Women say they want attention, but when you give it to them too often, they might lose interest. Well, that's the paradox. Women won't always admit it, but the key is balance. When you're consistently available, it can sometimes come across as neediness, like you're seeking approval. But when you show that you have your own priorities and you're not just waiting around for the next text or call, she starts to see you as a man who has something to offer, something more than just attention. And in the end, that's what creates true connection. To sum it up, every now and then, putting yourself first and being a little less available can actually increase her interest in you. But don't make it a game or play with her emotions. The goal is authenticity, being genuinely busy, pursuing your own goals, and living a life that she'd admire. Remember, as a Stoic, your peace and sense of self come from within, not from the attention of others. Keep that in mind, and you'll naturally attract the right kind of attention. All right, next up, we've got something that can really shift the dynamic of your relationship. She wants you to be cool with her having her own space. Now, I know this one might throw you off a bit. You might think, but isn't jealousy a sign that I care? Isn't showing some protectiveness what she wants? You've probably heard it a million times, right? Women want to feel wanted. They want to know you care. So maybe you've been there feeling a little tinge of jealousy when she's hanging out with her friends or when another guy seems to be showing her attention. It's easy to feel threatened, but here's the truth. Acting jealous actually sends the wrong message. When you show jealousy, it can make you seem insecure. You might not realize it, but in that moment, what you're really showing her is that you doubt your own value. You might think you're just protecting your relationship, but she'll pick up on that insecurity, and trust me, it's not attractive. Imagine this. She's out with a friend who you might think is flirting with her, and you start questioning her about it. She'll start thinking, does he not trust me? Is he afraid of losing me? Does he not think he's enough for me and that my friend can slowly chip away at her attraction to you? Now, here's where the Stoic mindset can be a game changer. Stoicism teaches us that we can't control other people's actions or feelings. We can only control our own responses. So when it comes to your relationship, you've got to trust in yourself and trust in her. If you're constantly checking up on her, trying to control who she talks to or who she spends time with, you're living in a place of fear, fear of loss, fear of inadequacy. But the Stoic approach, it's about knowing your worth, not seeking validation from anyone else. You know who you are. You trust that if she's with you, it's because she wants to be. There's no need to constantly prove your value because you already know. Know it, think about it. When you show calm confidence, you're actually demonstrating something far more powerful. You're saying, I trust you. I trust myself. I'm secure in what I bring to the table. And let me tell you, that's a magnetic quality confidence. Not jealousy is what builds respect. It tells her, I've already won you over. There's no need to play games. And when you act from a place of inner peace, you're naturally creating space for her to feel secure as well. You're both in this relationship because you want to be, not because you're afraid of losing something. So what should you do when she spends time with other people or when a guy flirts with her? Trust her. Trust that your bond is strong enough to withstand outside distractions. Don't feel threatened. Instead, focus on continuing to be the best version of yourself. The man who's secure, independent, and confident, the Stoics teach us that peace of mind comes from within, not from controlling everything around us. And when you truly embody this mindset, you'll find that her attraction to you deepens because she sees that you're not only secure in yourself, but also in the relationship. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with showing that you care. It's just about striking that balance, being protective without crossing into insecurity, the right kind of attention without suffocating her or trying to control the situation. When you can do that, when you can show that you're secure in yourself and in her, you'll notice that she feels more drawn to you than ever. So the next time you feel that jealousy creeping up, pause for a moment, reflect on your own worth. And instead of questioning her trust, the bond you share, your calm and confidence, will be far more powerful than any jealous reaction ever could be. Now here's a big one, and this one might really surprise you. She wants you to have female friends. Sounds strange, right? I mean, who in their right mind would want their partner to hang out with other women? But trust me, this is something many women secretly want, even if they don't admit it outright. Here's why. When she sees that you have female friends, it actually reassures her. Why? Because it shows that other women are interested in you. It signals that you're a man of value, someone who can attract attention, and that makes her feel more secure, more drawn to you. Now, I know what you're probably thinking, but what if she gets jealous? What if she doesn't like it? Sure, she might express concern, maybe even tell you she's uncomfortable with the idea of you being close to other women. But deep down, the fact that other women are interested in you does something powerful. It makes her realize that you're a man of worth. And that's where the magic happens. Here's the interesting thing, that jealousy she feels isn't necessarily a bad thing. Sure, it might sting a little, but it actually works in your favor. It's not about making her feel insecure, but about showing her that you're someone worth fighting for. She might feel a little jealous, but deep down, it also fuels her attraction. Why? Because it tells her that you have options. She knows she's not the only one vying for your attention, and that challenge can make her want to hold on to you even more. And if those female friends happen to be attractive, even better. You see, when she sees other women around you, especially if they're beautiful or charismatic, it creates a bit of a healthy challenge. She starts thinking, other women would love to be in my shoes, to be the one with him. I need to keep my game strong to make sure he stays interested in me. Now, how does this connect to Stoicism? This is where the beauty of Stoic philosophy really shines through. At its core, Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control and let go of the need to control other people. This includes not trying to micromanage your partner's feelings or feeling anxious about their reactions to your social life. When you live with inner calm and confidence, you don't feel the need to prove yourself or justify your actions. You trust that you're worthy, and you let your actions speak for themselves. The Stoic perspective reminds us that we cannot control how others feel, but we can control how we react. So when you have female friends and your partner reacts with jealousy or insecurity, instead of letting that throw you off course, stay grounded, trust in your worth, and trust in your relationship. If she sees that you're confident in your own skin, not getting rattled by her reactions, it will only boost her attraction to you. It's the calmness in your response that shows your strength, a strength that comes from knowing you're already complete and don't need validation from anyone else, so don't shy away from your female friendships. Live your life authentically. Show her that you're the kind of man who has options, but has chosen her. Don't try to manipulate or control the situation. Let the natural dynamics play out and watch how she becomes more drawn to you. Confidence in who you are, trust in your own value, and peace in your actions will make you more attractive than any games or tricks ever could. And remember, in Stoicism, we focus on inner peace. We don't let external circumstances like jealousy or other people's opinions disturb that peace. So if she feels threatened or jealous, let it be her journey to work through it, not yours. Keep focusing on being the best version of yourself, and the rest will follow. Hey, quick pause. Do you agree with these hidden weaknesses? Drop a comment with "I see through it" and share your thoughts. Let's keep the conversation going. All right, let's dive into the next one. She wants you to have strong opinions and take charge. This one is a bit counterintuitive, so listen closely. You've probably heard women say they prefer a more passive partner, someone who's easygoing, right? Maybe they tell you they like someone who's flexible, someone who just goes along with whatever they want. But here's the thing. While some women might say they prefer this deep down, they're much more attracted to a man who knows what he likes and takes the lead. Now, you might be thinking, what if I come off as too controlling or domineering? It's not about being a dictator, but about being decisive, being someone who has a clear vision of what they want. Think about it. How many times have you been around someone who can't make a decision for themselves? Maybe you've been in a group trying to figure out where to eat, and there's that one guy who can't decide. It's frustrating, right? But when you're the guy who steps up and says, "Let's go here," people respect that. The same thing happens in relationships when you stand firm on what you want. Whether it's choosing the restaurant, making plans, or just expressing your thoughts on a topic, it shows confidence. It shows that you're not easily swayed by others and that you know who you are. And trust me, confidence is one of the most attractive traits you can have. Women are drawn to men who aren't afraid to express their opinions and stand by their decisions. Now, I know what you might be thinking, but I don't want to come off as arrogant or overbearing. It's about balance, strong opinions. Don't mean you bulldoze over others' thoughts, but rather that you're comfortable in your own skin, confident enough to express yourself, and willing to take charge when necessary. Think of it like this. The most successful leaders, the men who have earned respect, are the ones who take responsibility for their decisions. They don't wait for someone else to decide for them. They lead because they have a sense of purpose and clarity in their actions. And that leads me to a key element of Stoicism that ties perfectly into this concept. One of the central tenets of Stoicism is the idea of living according to nature and embracing what you truly value. Stoics teach us that we should align our actions with our inner values, not be swayed by the opinions of others or fear making mistakes. A true Stoic doesn't waver when it comes to his core beliefs. He takes responsibility for his choices and doesn't look for validation from the outside world in a relationship. This Stoic mindset translates into being true to yourself and standing firm in your decisions instead of trying to please everyone around you or second-guessing yourself. You own your choices, and when you do that, when you stand by your principles and lead from a place of self-assurance, it automatically makes you more appealing. Women don't want someone who constantly seeks approval or doubts themselves. They want someone who's secure in who they are, so don't be afraid to take charge and share your opinions. Show her that you're not just floating through life without direction. Have the courage to make decisions, whether it's big or small, and even if she doesn't always agree with you, she'll respect you more for it. And here's the thing, the beauty of Stoicism is that it's not about being right all the time. It's about being grounded in your own beliefs and living with integrity. When you lead with conviction, you're not only making her more attracted to you, you're also building a deeper connection with yourself, rooted in the understanding that you are enough, just as you are. So next time you're faced with a decision, whether in your relationship or in life, take the lead, own it, and trust that your confidence will make you more attractive. Because when you're true to yourself and strong in your convictions, you'll naturally draw her closer. All right, let's talk about something that might surprise you. She wants passionate yet brief intimacy. Yeah, I know what you're thinking, but doesn't everyone want those long, romantic, candlelit nights? Well, yes, but there's more to it. What you might not know is that many women actually prefer a quick, intense experience over the long, drawn-out romantic gestures we often imagine. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that romance and connection don't matter, they do. But what I'm saying is that sometimes a burst of passion and excitement can be way more thrilling than you might think. Here's the thing. Women are human, just like us, and their needs and desires aren't always what they're expected to be. Sometimes they want that spontaneity, that spark, that undeniable chemistry. Think about it. Remember that one time you were with someone and there was that intense, almost electrifying connection that didn't need to be drawn out. Maybe you didn't even have to say much. There was just an understanding, a certain energy between you two that made the moment feel alive. Well, that's the kind of thing we're talking about: excitement, intensity, and a little unpredictability. I know some women might say they want that slower, more connected pace of intimacy. They might tell you they're looking for something more emotional or nurturing. But here's the catch: when you give her that mix of passion and intensity, when you keep things exciting and unpredictable, you'll be tapping into something deeper. That's exactly what many women are craving. It's about that balance between connection and chemistry. Not every moment has to be slow and deliberate. Sometimes a little spark can go a long way. This doesn't mean rushing or being disrespectful. Though no, this is about understanding timing and rhythm. It's about creating moments where both of you can feel that intensity and excitement and recognizing that there's beauty in brevity. It's about leaving her wanting more, not just in the physical sense, but in the emotional sense as well. When intimacy feels too long and drawn out, it can sometimes start to lose its magic. But when it's just the right amount of passion and intensity, it leaves a lasting impression that she'll think about long after. Now, how does this connect to Stoicism? Well, when you think about it, Stoic philosophy teaches us to embrace the present moment and focus on what's in front of us without overthinking or planning every detail. It's about being fully present in the experience without trying to control or predict the outcome. This applies not just to life in general, but to intimacy as well. Stoics believe that you should enjoy what you have in the moment without overcomplicating it or getting caught up in expectations. Think of intimacy as a moment to be experienced, not something to be labored over. A Stoic would approach the moment with the mindset of being present, embracing the intensity and excitement without the pressure of making it last forever. It's about quality, not quantity, and that's what makes it special. So instead of getting caught up in a checklist of what intimacy should look like, focus on the connection, on what feels right in the moment, and let it flow naturally. When you embrace this Stoic perspective, you'll realize that passion and intensity don't need to be complicated. They just need to be genuine, spontaneous, and real. And that's when you'll see the difference in your relationships, because you're not forcing anything. You're simply allowing things to unfold in their own way. So when it comes to intimacy, remember, sometimes less is more. A quick, passionate moment filled with intensity and excitement can create the kind of connection that lingers years far longer than anything drawn out or overly planned. And when you learn to balance passion with presence, you'll have a deeper, more meaningful connection, not just with her, but with the experience itself. And that's it for today. I hope this gives you some valuable insight into what women really want, because what they say isn't always what they actually desire. Be sure to pay attention to her actions and understand her on a deeper level. Thanks for watching. For more advice, become a member for exclusive content. Drop a comment saying I'm confident and in control. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay positive.